All right, so about Marilyn Manson and Evan Rachel Wood. Now, I watched her documentary, Phoenix Rising, and I've just got to say, I believe her down to my very core. Um, him suing her is almost comical. Like, I don't know if they still have to go to court or what, or how it's going to work, but he'll have to be cross-examined, and that will be fucking biblical. Here's the thing, to anyone who's still a fan of his. I'm 41 years old. I went to see him when I was 13. His new stuff sucks, because his new stuff isn't even new stuff anymore. But, like, he had 2 good albums. The first one, Portrait of an American Family, and then there was Antichrist Superstar. I saw him at a little club here in Portland called the La Luna off Burnside. And I saw him for $8, and it was one of the coolest fucking things, especially at 13, that I had ever seen in my life. Came out on these giant stilts. The background was a fucking giant Ouija board. There were Howdy Doody dolls and rubber chickens all hanging by their neck. And what I did notice even at the time, who really stood out was the guitarist, Daisy Berkowitz. His real name's Scott. He died of cancer, unfortunately, which fucking sucks because he was so cool. And he was the co-founder. He had just as much to do with the band, but except, more, really, because he wrote all of the music. So if you go back and listen to Portrait of an American Family, like, it's a good album. And it's not his fault. Like, Manson fucked him too. I think that, like, he's got such an ego, and he's such a narcissist, I think, that, like, anyone who starts to take too much attention away from him, like, I don't think he can handle it. But, yeah, they basically muscled him out of the band after Antichrist Superstar, and he wrote a lot of songs on that as well. And I love Trent, and I hear that, like, even Trent kind of played a little bit of a role in it, which really sucks. But I saw him for that tour, Antichrist Superstar as well. I think I was like 15. And that was fucking cool too. But that's when he started to take himself a little too seriously. And I was all in. I like him, using this fucking camera as a mirror. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm trying to get that off. Okay. Oh, Sam. Hey, bud. Say hi. Fucking love this dog. Look, you know what, man? I'm just gonna broad stroke it. He started to take himself too seriously, and then his ego got so big that he's like, Trent Reznor made the second album cool. Like, that had, like, more of, like, a little bit kind of industrial seriousness, because Trent Reznor said he wanted to make an album that would, like, have people taking them a little bit more seriously. And he definitely succeeded in that. He had so much to do with the way that album sounded. And then Manson's ego fucking stepped up, and he's like, Trent kind of, basically, like, acted like, like, Trent overdid it and, like, overstepped his boundaries and had too much to do with the creative process. Here's the thing. He doesn't have, as we've seen after that, like, he kicked out Daisy Berkowitz. Like, once he was fully out of the picture, it became Mechanical Animals. And there were some good songs on it, but nothing like those first 2 albums. So we see that, like, once he gone, Manson was never really the talent. He doesn't really play, he's not a musician, Like, he knows a few chords on the guitar, but, like, and I don't even know if he could do that anymore. But he can't, like, play and sing. He can't, like, he doesn't draw. I mean, he doesn't, like, he's not, oh, shoot. He's more of, like, a goth Elvis or something, who just, like, he's all show. No, fuck, because Elvis sang and played guitar at the same time, too. He can't even do that. So, like, yeah, he sucks, dude. And I do believe Evan Rachel Wood down to my core, because even back then, like, he's... Also, what else do you need to know? He has openly said, I thought about bashing her head in with a sledgehammer every day, and talking about, like, he's openly said so much that it's like, are you fucking kidding me? And he's coming out with conspiracy theories saying that, like, oh, what she did, and her friend, it's all, big conspiracy to derail, stain my legacy, as if that's so good, and derail my music and TV and everything, making it sound like he does way more than he actually does. He hasn't done anything worthwhile in a long time. And, even when it was worthwhile, he was you know, he was the front man, but he didn't have that much to do with it. He was just the shock, you know, the thing that you can't help but stare at. And then, you know, you'd see him in interviews, and he was fun to watch talk. You know, he would say some really intelligent and thoughtful shit, and you know, sometimes even had a sense of humor and stuff like that. So, you know, it could even be funny sometimes. You know, people, you know, kind of rip on him in interviews and stuff like that, you know, David Letterman type, things like that. Remember him with Politically Incorrect on Bill Maher and some, you know, saying something, and he'd always have a funny response if someone would, you know, talk about how weird he was. So, like, yeah, I mean, I was a real fan, but I'm telling you, after, like, the first two albums, like, that's it. Like, he's just slowly as someone who's lived through it, like, through all of it. Like, I remember when that first album came out, the first video was Lunchbox, and then it was Dope Hat, that was, like, the Willy Wonka, them going through the tunnel. Looking at how much time I got left. I don't want to make this too long, but, like, I just wanted to say this because I felt it in me after, like, reading about, you know, some story that, like, I really do believe her, and you know, I'm not about cancel culture. I'm not about any of that, but people should know this. She's right. He's a garbage person. I promise you. Like, I was a big follower for that second album, and I started taking him really seriously too. I was all in, but he has not been that guy worth following for, you know, since, like, the fucking 90s. Like, he sucks, dude. So, yeah, if you're a kid who relates to his music, things like that, whatever, like, you know, cool, I get it, but there's a lot better shit out there. You know, you still, you know, there's a few songs that you like. I say especially those first couple albums, look at who wrote it, and if you see the name Daisy Berkowitz, like, he was wronged by Manson too, and he made all the good music. So, like, pay attention to that name and know, like, it's still okay to listen to those songs. I still do from time to time. I still play along to those songs from time to time. Fucking Dogma, that's a great one. Misery Machine, fuck yeah. So, some good shit. But, yeah, he sucks. And there's nothing really, you know, questionable about it. Like, fucking Evan Rachel Wood has the truth on her side. She really does. I believe her. I'm a very skeptical person. I believe her down to my very fucking core. I truly do. So, hashtag I stand with Evan. Say it sarcastically, but I actually do. So, alright, take care, and good luck to us all, because it's a crazy fucking world, and who knows where all this shit's going. So, we'll see.